you history lovers out there, today we're going on a road trip, and we thought we'd just take you along for the ride. We're going to head toward McCormick County, South Carolina, and toward Hester's Bottoms Campground. We're going to look for the ruins of an old fort, and also one of our viewers told us about a cemetery that is there at the campground that we didn't know about, so we're going to see if we can find that. So thanks for joining us. Right now we're traveling Highway 28, which actually was called the Old General's Road, and it was named for Colonel Andrew Pickens, who would travel from his home in Abbeville up to his home in toward Tomasi, South Carolina. So a lot of people use this road for many years. It was the stagecoach run to taverns like Verena's and Whitehall. It went through downtown Anderson, South Carolina, right on Main Street. Highway 28 follows basically the same path that the Old General's Road did. We're coming into the historic city of Abbeville, South Carolina. And that reminds me, there may be more than one way to say Abbeville, but we are from this area, and we say Abbeville, right?
That's right.
People jump on me a lot of times for saying things the wrong way, but some people might say Abbeville, but around here we say Abbeville. This town was incorporated in the early 1830s, but there were settlers in this area well before that time period. It's called the birthplace and the deathbed of the Confederacy because it was decided here that South Carolina would secede from the Union, and also ended here. As we come into Abbeville, you will notice brick streets, which is one of the quaint little features of the town. I love this church on the right. Well, we just had our first detour. We were going to go down the old Vienna Road toward Mount Carmel, but there was a detour. So we're having to continue on Highway 72, right?
Yep.
We're coming into Mount Carmel. We wound our way around, got back here after the detour. And Mount Carmel, this community area was actually settled by the French and the Germans and
Scotch-Irish.
Scots-Irish, that's it. And this little town actually became more prosperous in the 1830s when the railroad, Savannah Valley Railroad, came, and was quite a successful little town for a long time. I know there were some fires, but they were able to recover. This is a little cafe we eat at sometime, but it's closed on Wednesdays. This is McAllister's Furniture.
Look like it's closed too.
Yeah. Beautiful old homes in Mount Carmel. This is Hester's Gin.
I don't know. Was that the name of it?
I believe so. No, it was run by the Hesters. The old home place of the Hesters. So we're going to talk a little bit about Hester's Bottoms Campground.
Yeah.
It used to be called Mount Carmel Campground, and we camped there some.
Yeah, it was run
right
by
on the shores of
Clarks Hill.
Clarks Hill.
It was a state park.
Mm-hmm. The lake was built in the 1950s, and that's when the campground opened. So at some point it closed down in the around 2010. We're not exactly sure the exact date. We did camp here during that time period, but it stayed closed for a while, and then it reopened. I think it was around 2021, something like that, to a private individual. I think they just lease it from.
Yeah, I think they lease it from the Army Corps of Engineers.
Okay, and they changed the name from Mount Carmel Campground to Hester's Bottoms Campground, and we laugh about that because Hester's Bottom, but it's not that.
I never thought of that.
Bottom land. This is where we're heading out to the point. The old road would have went straight across.
Yeah.
And
here's the first boat ramp.
Yeah, first boat ramp's on the left.
Yeah.
And then straight ahead, this big, beautiful flag. We have the entrance to Hester's Bottoms Campground. We're heading down to the point to find the remains of the old fort and the new marker that they've erected British flag. That's because this fort was actually built by the British. Here on this glass, if you can tell, is like a representation of the fort and where it would have been in that area. Now, the rocks that are here are actually from the fort, and they were moved here before the lake was built with promise that the fort would be rebuilt, but it never was. So now the rocks sit here, abandoned, but testament of the fort. And just think about the history that these rocks hold. It's amazing. So the fort was built in the 1760s. Not used very long, actually. And then the revolution began, and the Patriots were able to take control of the fort from the Loyalists. And this may tell us a little bit more about that. So we're just going to look here at this marker. This talks about the different excavations that were done on the fort in the 1950s. I've heard that these things disappeared. Nobody knows where they are now. So we have some Native American things, vessels, artifacts, prehistoric pottery, glass and crockery fragments. And then down here are scenes from the excavation. And then over here it talks about South Carolina Cradle of Democracy project. So, capture of Fort Charlotte, July 12, 1775. Less than a mile from this point, close to the Georgia shoreline of Lake Thurmond, lays the site of Fort Charlotte, now 50 feet underwater. Named after the wife of King George III, Fort Charlotte was a British fort built in 1766. It was located on the South Carolina side of the Savannah River, about 1.5 miles below the mouth of the Broad River, and the settlement of Vienna, where the river was shallow and about 660 feet wide. Originally garrisoned by British troops, the fort was abandoned in 1768 and turned over to the colonial administration. Discussion ensued as to dismantle the fort or convert it for other public use. Another fort, however, Fort Prince George, was found to be unsafe in order to be abandoned with its ordnance stores, arms, and ammunition sent to Fort Charlotte. This greatly increased the importance of Fort Charlotte, which was commanded by Captain George Whitfield with approximately 15 troops under his command. Consequently, the Council of Safety, created by the Provincial Congress on June the 1st, ordered Lieutenant Colonel William Thompson to lead a Patriot force of Rangers to take possession of Fort Charlotte and its munitions. Thompson assigned the mission to Major James Mason, who collected 2 companies from 96, that of Captain John Caldwell and Captain Moses Kirkland, consisting of 28 and 23 men respectively. Upon his arrival on July 12, 1775, the fort and all its possessions were peacefully surrendered to him by Captain Whitfield and subsequently placed under the command of Captain John Caldwell and a company of 15 men. The seizure of Charlotte was the first overt act of the American Revolution in South Carolina. And then down here, it shows you what the fort would have looked like.
Kind of the footprint, isn't it?
Yes, the footprint of it. So the road would have basically went on straight out this point and on across to the Savannah. And Jefferson Davis, at the end of the Civil War, and his cabinet actually came this route and crossed over into Georgia with the Confederate treasury that is missing and has been missing since that time. And it's possible it could have been left at Fort Charlotte, but that is a mystery that everyone claims, that the treasure could have been left in their spot along that route. But we don't know. We don't know what happened to it.
The lake is down right now. We've been in a severe drought.
It is. You can see it should have come up to this shore right here. Here's one of the larger rocks. It would have been probably up on the bank at some point, but it's down here now. I'm sure that one came from the fort. It's just like the others. When the lakes were built, we lost a lot of history, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And they're essential. We know that, but a lot of history got covered up.
Makes you wonder how many hands touched each one of these rocks.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
But some of these rocks are huge.
Yes. Right now that we've seen airport, we're gonna go look for the cemetery. It's just supposed to be fieldstones, so we don't know what names are on them or who it could have been. We're gonna see what we can find, and they need to be documented. We've been told it was in front of Site 38. There's 36.
738. Might be right.
All right,
here.
could be right. So we do see in this little area that we've ridden around many times. Yep, here's a sunken spot right here with a stone. Okay, here's another one here.
Yeah, keep going that way.
Oh, I see several over this way. Here, right here. And you can see sunken in spots all over, can't you?
Yeah.
This road was just kind of put around it, but it makes you wonder. Yeah, this is a really big one.
Yep. And another
this
one.
Coming down here.
Another one.
Yep, here's the footstone. And here's a headstone. A grave right here with a footstone. So 1, 2, here, 3, 4. That might have been part of that one, but possibly 5, 6.
And there's some more up there.
Okay. 7. Here's one right here, but no stone. 8.
That's one right here.
9.
There's another one to your right.
10.
I think that's about all of them. Roughly 10.
And Robert's going to check across the road and see if there's anything else over there on that side. I hope not, because that meant the road would go right through the middle of it. Nobody seems to know they were here. I mean, we've never heard of it, and we've ridden down this road plenty of times and never knew. We can't assume who they might be, but we do know this. Some people think just because it's a rock instead of a tombstone, it must be a slave grave, but that's not true. It can be, but it could also be early settlers. To get a tombstone would take a very long time and a lot of money. They had to be made and shipped and could take years to get the tombstone back. So we come across fieldstones quite often, even in church cemeteries, family plots. So this could have been early settlers in this area, a family cemetery probably, or could have been a cemetery for enslaved people. So we don't know. It's lost to history. It's lost to time. Sure would love to know who they were, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Before the lake was built, I mean, this would have been a creek. This would have been a creek out here.
Yeah, so there would have been...
So the house, the home could have been on the other side of... All this would have been wooded. This would have been probably wooded or farmland. And
yeah.
Could have been a house up on a hill.
Yeah, could have been
even back
anywhere
toward
in this
the main
area.
campground.
We pay our respects to this family, whoever they were. They've been remembered today. Now we're headed down to the public boat ramp. And we've ridden this road on a golf cart. It's pretty fun because it's windy and hilly. There's also, back to the right, we just passed the little gate. There's a closed gate. But when they built this campground, they also built another section of it that's not used. It has old picnic table sites and an old shelter.
Yeah, it may have been used during that time.
Yeah, but it's been closed for years and it's completely abandoned and grown over, and this is not the time of year to be going back there in it. But we did ride down in there one time and check it out, and it was just kind of strange to look at.
We like using it, it's not crowded. And that's the ramp. And it looks like you can still use it right now.
Even though the water's down.
Yeah.
road that says Mount Carmel Cemetery Road and see what we can find. We've never been down through here before. It's over here. It's a big cemetery. This enclosure is erected in loving memory of Darrell J. McAllister by his family in 1963.
It's just a circle.
This is strange.
But it's right in front of a headstone.
That is very strange. It is. It's like a circle. I think the ground's given way. Because it obviously had black plastic over it at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Henry Ollie Watson.
Oh, this is the Watsons. Okay. We did a story of the brothers Hugh and Henry Brown. And this was their grandparents, Ollie Watson and Laura Cade. And if you want to know more about that story, it's on Facebook, but it's also on our YouTube channel. And they lived in a big, beautiful, historic home that was once owned by the Calhouns on Little River, near the old Calhoun Mill.
It gets really pretty back here.
Yes. I was reading about the woodmen of the woodmen of the world and last night, and I didn't realize that they were started to help give insurance to just the common working person. But everybody who joined was guaranteed a tombstone, and that's why we see so many of these. And oh, and here's another hole. These graves have caved in. So it's right in front of that marker. Woodmen of the world. I don't think they've at all been tampered with or vandalized. I think they're just sinking. That is sad. What is it?
Thomas Alexander McAllister? Or?
Yeah. McAllisters are a very prominent family in Mount Carmel and currently own a lot of Mount Carmel. Businesses, land, real estate.
Big ravine here.
Yes, it is.
So there wouldn't be any cemeteries right outside that fence, that way.
I think that's the old road.
Is it a train? That's the old train road. That's the train track.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
so it goes, I don't know if you can tell, but it goes way down. How many feet would you say that is?
That's the old railroad bed.
Yeah.
It probably goes down at least 12, 15 foot.
Yeah. And
but I could see it back toward town. You can see the big rise.
So it ran right by here, right on the edge of the cemetery. This is one of the places we came across on our detour that we had to take around Mount Carmel Road. And this is the McAllister's Chapel Holiness Church. And from what I read, it was a post-Civil War African-American church. And we could tell just by riding by that it definitely had a lot of history. It looks like they put some new windows in. You can see the foundation stones here. But you can see the old roof up there. Got a cemetery here behind it. These foundation stones always amaze me. Oh, look back here. So definitely, if they replace those windows because they look like this one, that's a good thing they did. Yeah, but it looks like they're trying to take good care of it and get it back in some kind of shape, maybe. Just going through this broken window right here with my camera, and I think you can see the inside. So maybe with the new windows, there's an effort being made to restore it, because this is an important part of history in this area. But it's a beautiful little church. A lot of history. And it looks like some of the names are Tatum,
Lomax,
Jackson, Jones. So families that are prominent in this area.
Lee,
Morris,
Ison, Green.
And it looks like beside it, they've got a newer building that they use.
Lovan, Thomas, Norman.
Bryant.
They're all different names.
Clayton.
Bryant, Clayton.
Hill. Yeah, a lot of different names. Doesn't seem to be one prominent family, does it?
No, it's where the wood stove.
Yeah, where the wood stove would have come out, the venting for it. Love the old churches. Backbone of America.
Well, we're ending our morning at the square in Abbeville again, and we're going to eat lunch at the Rough House. And if you don't know anything about the Rough House, they've got great hot dogs, but they also have a lot of history behind them. They started in 1932 by the Hagen family, the restaurant did, and it moved here in 1934, and it was started for the railway workers, and it was kind of rough, so they called it the Rough House. And back then, if you were a girl or a woman, you would not be caught in this restaurant, but today it is a nice family-friendly restaurant and definitely welcomes.
It's good ice cream too.
Good ice cream, welcomes women, so that's good, and families. So that's the day in the life of the history hunter, and we hope to enjoy your time with us, and make sure if you like our videos and what we do that you like and subscribe to our channel. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.